A typical compressor brings the loud parts down in relation to the quiet parts, and then makeup gain brings everything up together, resulting in a less dynamic signal. And that's where many people stop when teaching compression. That's why many of us think of compression as an envelope controller. All of this that I've said so far about envelope and dynamic range is true, but it's not the full story. Because when you alter the dynamics of a sound with a compressor, you generate harmonic distortion. And this is where a lot of the magic of compression lies. If you get one thing from this video, it's to start listening to compression as an envelope shaper and a distortion box. Before going any further, it's important to note that distortion isn't necessarily bad. In fact, it's one of the main reasons why an engineer might use a compressor, because they want to distort the signal intentionally and spread out some of the energy to more frequencies throughout the spectrum. To hear the distortion I'm talking about, let's pull up the kick drum. I'll solo the outside kick mic. First, we can listen to it dry with no compression. Then we'll listen to the 76 compressor engaged. Listen to the transient and the decay, as we did before, but this time also listen for how the tone of the kick changes in the low, mid, and high frequencies. Through a combination of A, altering the shape of the waveform, and B, the resulting harmonics that arise from doing that, the compressed version sounds a bit tighter and a bit brighter. Listen specifically for the difference in the low frequencies and in the sound of the batter. I'm going to play it again. This time I'll play the dry version and then just one of the compressed versions. Now, these settings on the Volt 876 interface are designed to give you a few options to work with, and you don't have to feel limited to using the guitar setting only for guitar or the vocal setting only for vocals. The differences between these recordings are very subtle, and if we wanted more compression, we could simply increase the preamp gain on the interface. The threshold of the compressor is fixed, so rather than moving the threshold down, as you might typically do on other compressors, you boost the input signal up to the threshold level. This is similar to the way the classic Universal Audio 1176 works. We'll start with the preamp gain low, meaning the signal is low in comparison to where the threshold is, and then I'll gradually turn up the preamp gain, which will push the signal deeper and deeper into the threshold. Here we go. Okay, I turned the preamp back down, and then we'll continue to listen to it as it gradually pushes into the compressor. Okay, there you could hear some distortion. And some of that was from the compressor itself, but at a certain point you may actually start clipping the preamp. But listen to that again as we go and increase the gain. Okay, and finally here's the vocal setting. So that's a very extreme example, but you can hear that at a certain point you'll start to hear the distortion, which actually is harmonically related to the fundamental. So if you have a kick that is not really cutting through in a mix because it's so low frequency, you can maybe compress that or saturate it to create harmonics that are related to that note that can be heard on smaller speakers or within a more dense mix.